Usually I write a joke here, but my brain is not cooperating, so imagine I said something funny. Let's say that's my St. Valentine's gift from you. Hello, my beautiful basilisks and mythology and mind. You can call me Eminem, and today I bring to you not St. Valentine's Day, but a few Spanish traditional days for couples. Don't worry, it's not all lovely, dovely, cutesy stuff. This is Spain without the S, after all. The first one I think is a pretty global custom, if not is European, and it originated in Rome. Is the one where you write yours and your partner's name in a padlock, you chain it to a bridge, and you throw the key into the river to symbolize the eternal unbreakable union. This happens all over Spain, but where it used to be more emblematic is in the Triana Bridge over the Guadalquivir river, but now it's illegal, and if you do it you get a penalty fee for breaking the heritage law. We had some structural problems in some bridges too. The most common love tradition from Spain that we do is Sant Jorge, or Sant Jordi, I believe. The 23rd of April, which is also the day of the book and the death anniversary of Cervantes and English Cervantes, we give the person we love a red rose or a book. Why? In the town of Montblanc, which means white mountain in Catalan, in the Pyrenees, a random dragon appears someday. It poisoned the air and the water with its breath, and it started eating all the cattle. Day by day, it approached the town walls, so people started feeding sheep to it. When there weren't more sheep, they gave it oxen, and then horses, and then every other animal they had. When no more animals were available, the townspeople put the name of everybody in the village in a pot, and the person's name that was chosen was given to the dragon. Even the nobles participated in this, which pretty progressive to be honest, though we know this is propaganda and it would never happen. One day, the Princess Cleodolinda was chosen, so she went outside to meet the dragon. Conveniently, that was the day that Sant Jorge, a knight in a white horse, was there. I don't know what he was doing, but he changed his afternoon plans and attacked the dragon. It was badly wounded, and to add insult to injury, Sant Jorge took the princess's belt and he tied it around the dragon's neck. The princess took the other end of the belt and she brought the dragon to the town's walls, where Jorge slayed it. Very unnecessary. The dragon's meat melted into the ground and its blood made a pool at Jorge's feet, where a rose bush full of red roses grew. He gifted one to the princess, which should have been the one giving gifts, considering she was just saved. In Catalonia, they have Sant Jordi, which is the Catalonian name of Sant Jorge, as their patron, and since the 19th century they have celebrated the tradition where the 23rd of April men give women a red rose and the women give them a book in return. Nowadays you just give the person whatever they prefer, or even both, and I find this tradition really cute. In Madrid, we have the 13 needles of San Antonio, which I had never heard until researching for this video. This is a tradition that occurs in a small church since the 19th century, where some young dressmakers who wanted to find boyfriends started doing this ritual. They took 13 needles and placed them in the holy water stove of the church. They placed their hands over their needles, and then, when they took them out, the number of needles that stuck to their palm were indicative of the number of suitors they would have that year. And now, it doesn't matter your occupation of gender, you can participate if you want. What is the origin of this tradition? Why, of all the churches in Madrid, they went to San Antonio's one, considering there were like 80 churches on Madrid? Well, we have to go to Rome again, to a miracle performed by San Antonio de Padua, whose image came to life inside a Roman church to gaslight a guy that didn't want to get married to his girlfriend, but after this traumatizing experience of a random statue talking to you, he changed his mind and agreed to marry her. Okay, this reminds me of the Cantigas de Santa Maria, and I'll talk about them someday because they're dark. And why 13 needles? There are two possible reasons for this, pick the one you prefer. One says that this happens because we celebrated the 13th of June, so 13 needles, and the other one states that this is because 13 is the number of coins a husband gives to his wife when they marry. Arras, we call them, but I don't know if this is something like Catholic or Spanish or something everybody does, so do tell me please. There is also another tradition with San Antonio, but this one is from Andalucia, and I don't think it's practiced anymore, but I'll explain to you anyway. When a girl was ugly or bland or an old maiden, She went to the saint to find a boyfriend, and these girls were literally doing dark magic in the name of God. Anyway, they took the saint's rope belt and made a knot in it, or they threw a chickpea in the saint's belly button, which is so funny, and if they succeeded, they would find a boyfriend that same year. I don't see how they correlate, but I guess San Antonio liked that. Also in Andalusia, in the San Juan's night, which is a festivity on its own, the person who was looking for a partner cracked an egg inside a dish with water, and the next morning, the shape it took was supposed to represent the name of the person's potential couple. They called this echar barcos en San Juan, which means throwing ships on San Juan. Yeah, sure. Last Andalusian tradition has to do with weddings, where if you could get a pin from the headdress or the flowers of the bride, but they had to be orange blossoms, you would get married that year. Scary predictions indeed. The last tradition comes from Valencia and is called la Mocadorà or Mocaorà, which means in Valenciano, which is its own language that I don't speak, scarf day or scarf-like or something like that. There is no English translation. Pañuelada if you speak Spanish. The 9th of October they celebrate San Dionisio, patron of Valencian lovers. This day the men give the woman marzipan in the shape of local fruits and vegetables. This looks and it's very sweet. But in Spanish, llevarse a la huerta, which means taking someone to the vegetable plot, means fucking. The marzipans look very cute though. The origin of this tradition goes back to the 16th century, more specifically in 1526. When they were celebrating Juan I, an old Spanish king, they had a very big accident with gunpowder and 9 people died. Oh yeah, Valencians have a very long tradition of firecrackers and fireworks, and they celebrate everything with them, like the fallas. Anyway, the king prohibited the use of either. As a protest, the bakers of Valencia created 2 sweets that represented 2 of the most popular firecrackers, la piruleta y el tronador. At the same time, these firecrackers are supposed to represent both male and female genitalia, and this is the funniest revolution I've ever seen. Also, in the 18th century, after la Guerra de Sucesión, which is a very important part of Spanish history, the celebration of the 9th of October, Juan I, was prohibited. But Valencians didn't give a shit and just changed the motif to San Dionisio to keep celebrating. They added marzipan in the shape of local fruits and vegetables to reivindicate their land and their culture. Then, in the 19th century, the sweets started to be sold wrapped in a scarf instead of trays. At first, the scarves were of blue and white squares, but they evolved over time, so people kept the cloth as a memento. In the past, men were the ones buying the Mocadoràs for their girls or lovers, but nowadays everybody buys them, and they are a token of appreciation and love, not just in a romantic way. Anyway, that's everything I could find. If you have a tradition regarding couples in your country, tell me about them. I would love to hear it. And tell me if there is anything you would like me to make a video about. Have a good St. Valentine's Day and have a nice Iron Age. Bye!